You're going to love this. German broadcaster Deutsche Welle adopts commitment to Israel in code of conduct. So Germany's international broadcaster Deutsche Welle has adopted a new code of conduct which threatens staff with dismissal if they question Israel's right to exist. Israel is mentioned twice when referring to the company's commitments against racism and anti-Semitism. No other country, political or national group is mentioned in the same way as the apartheid state. In its code of conduct, Deutsche Welle says that it stands for, quote, freedom, democracy, and human rights, unquote, which it describes as being cornerstones of our journalistic and development message and profile. I mean, they didn't need to put it in writing. I personally know a couple of people who were literally fired from their jobs over there just for, being Palestinian and having the wrong opinion. So their idea of like being a good Palestinian is that you shut your mouth and you accept what Israel does to you, right? Like, it's okay for you not to have a country. It's okay for you not to have a state. It's okay for you not to be a full member at the UN. But if you fucking question Israel's right to exist on your land, we'll fire you. Get the fuck out. Apparently, the one with the nuclear weapons is the victim here. Oh my God. I want to continue here. This is what Deutsche Welle writes. Deutsche Welle says that, quote, due to Germany's history, we have a special obligation towards Israel. Germany's historical responsibility for the Holocaust is also a reason for which we support the right of Israel to exist. And when I read that, I was like, they have a really good point. Okay, let's all get together and support Israel's right to exist in Germany. You can have Israel exist in Hamburg or Munich or Frankfurt or wherever the fuck you want, since you're the ones who killed, 6 million Jews. Syrians did not kill 6 million Jews. Palestinians did not kill 6 million Jews. You fucking did that shit. You give them your land. You give them Hamburg. You give them fucking Munich. After all, you're the one who committed genocide. What is this logic? Like, oh, we feel really bad. You can have that, go over there, take that land that does not belong to us. That's so British of you. That's so colonial of you. It's so European of you. How generous. How generous of you. Wow. I'm starting to get the hang of this, I'm starting to it has a nice ring to it. We support Israel's right to exist in Germany. In Germany. If you go to Germany illegally without a visa, you know what happens? They arrest you and they deport you. But apparently, if you go to Palestine, and you say that you're special, you can just fucking kill Palestinians, take their homes, bulldoze other homes, put some of them in jail, treat them like third-rate, fourth-rate citizens. Wow. So, Palestinians, they just have to tolerate that. And if they open their mouths, you fire them. Very, very freedom of speech of you, right? This is their idea of democracy, right? It's like you can say things that we like and anything else is verboten. Really disgusting, honestly. Really disgusting. I think it's incredible that European countries like the United Kingdom, Germany, who have a long history of anti-Semitism, like of actually persecuting Jews, want to lecture Palestinians, want to lecture Arabs about anti-Semitism. And then on top of it, give away Arab land or Palestinian land as if it's theirs to give away in the first place. The epitome of free speech in the West. I think this is, again, a very strong example of how when people come and say, well, Germany's not perfect, Europe is not perfect, America's not perfect, the West is not perfect, but at least we have we have freedom of speech, we have free press. No, you don't. You literally do not have a free press at all. You do not have one. You think you might have one, but you don't. This is pathetic. This is absolutely pathetic. This is nothing to do with combating racism at all. At all. Again, if Germany has guilt, yeah, Obviously, with what happened, there should be some guilt. And to Germany's credit, the people there and their education system, unlike some of the other countries who participated in the Holocaust with them, the Germans understand that they did some really bad things and that this was wrong, and they teach them this in school. When you look at the Palestinian situation, they think the Palestinians are the aggressors. So I'm asking myself, have they learned anything? It's not enough that they don't have a state. They make the victim look like the bully and the bully look like the victim. It's really the whole world upside down. And again, it's not a German thing. It's a Western thing, I would say, right? Because it's really the British who encouraged Zionism with the Balfour Declaration and so on. And, I've gone through this a million times with you guys. But I wanted to just show you again how there is no free press in the West. That is a joke. They try to veil it and mask it by saying that it's about combating racism. It's not. It's about shutting people up who are making valid criticisms about a political ideology, right? Zionism is a political ideology that's barely 150 years old. Joe Biden himself said, "I'm a Zionist." Joe Biden is not Jewish. He's Christian, or so he says. And he says, "I'm a proud Zionist." You remember that clip? It's an old clip from, 20, 30 years ago, whatever. He certainly is to this day. If you go and ask him right now, he'd say, "Yes, I'm a Zionist." You have in the United States Christian Zionists. This is a political ideology. It's a political movement. And the problem with it is that it comes at the expense of someone else's human rights, their dignity, their home, their land. And it's the Palestinians. Most of all, Syria also has a big, the Golan Heights is not the biggest chunk of land, but it has valuable resources. It's Syria. It belongs to Syria, right? They talk all the time about sovereignty, Ukraine sovereignty, but when Israel is violating Syria's sovereignty, they don't seem to care. But my point is that you have many people that are suffering at the expense of Zionism, and they don't care about their human rights. You're Palestinian. You don't have human rights as far as the West is concerned. Let me just read you the last bit. Guess what? When Deutsche Welle fired several Palestinian journalists for old social media posts, which they in Deutsche Welle said were anti-Semitic, the court looked at that and said, no, nothing about this is anti-Semitic. These journalists, these Palestinian journalists, have not said anything anti-Semitic. You were wrong to fire them. You violated labor laws, and court case is still ongoing. But keep that in mind. So Deutsche Welle are not only completely wrong in in their stated premises, but also afterwards in court, again, legally also proven wrong. Their beliefs as a broadcaster consist of, affirming Israel's right to exist. That's what they're saying. Why don't they do that for other people? Like, you could also argue technically that if you say Palestine does not have the right to exist, then you are a racist who hates Arabs. I could also make that argument, right? So why doesn't Deutsche Welle write that you must not denigrate Palestine's right to exist? It's just a thought, right? Why not put, I don't know, the UK's right to exist in there while you're at it? I don't understand what this means. Anyway, we all know what this is about. It's about shutting you up if you criticize Israel. That's really what it is. That's the bottom line.